Welcome back everybody. So in this very quick video, I'm basically going to be on my screen and walking you through how to construct a chord progression from scratch, and also I'll be talking about how you can practice it and how you can better understand chords and better internalize them as you start working with them and start composing with them and incorporating them into your songs and so forth. So hopefully you saw in my last post about chord functions. The tonic has a function, the supertonic has a function, and so on. And so when you write chord progressions, to really develop a feeling, an understanding for how to use chords, you have to know what they sound like. I mean, there's no other way around it. And so in my post, I sort of talk about how you can go about learning the chords and their functions. So be sure to check that out. But once you're ready to start building chord progressions, it's really simple after that. It really is. So here we go. Let's just get to it. What you want to do is you want to just write out all of the diatonic triads, right? So I wrote them all out and I labeled them. And whether you're writing it on a sheet of paper or on staff paper, then that's really perfect. That's the way that I learned. That's probably the way that all of the master composers learned. This way is just really for teaching purposes. Yeah, go ahead and always set up your staff this way. So we're going to write 3 voices on the upper staff, and then your bass is going to move quite differently than the other 3 voices. So the outer voices always move the most. And what I mean by move, I mean they jump. They do the most jumps. They do the biggest intervallic leaps, right? And I'm talking about horizontal intervals. And the middle voices, you want to try and keep them as smooth as possible, and we will see exactly how we're going to achieve that. When we hear the tonic subdominant connection, we feel that the subdominant prepares the tonic, but it also prepares the dominant. So we call the subdominant chord a predominant chord, right? So we're just going to go ahead and label that as predominant. Okay, and then we're going to do that for each of the chords here. So of course the dominant is the dominant chord, but also the 7th chord has also a dominant function. So go ahead and label that with a dominant, okay? So then the submediant chord, that has 2 functions. It could really function as a predominant chord, but it can also function as a tonic chord as well. It really depends on how you use it. The mediant chord also functions as a tonic chord, so we'll label that as tonic. And the supertonic chord, the 2 chord, has a subdominant, predominant function to it. You'll see me probably use subdominant more frequently than predominant, but predominant is more accurate term, especially when you're learning. So that is basically it. So as you can see, there are 3 categories, right? There's a tonic chord, there's a predominant chord, and there's a dominant chord. And so what we've learned just from listening to how the chords move and studying the logic is that the predominant chords prepare the dominant, and the dominant chords prepare the tonic. And when I mean prepare, I mean it prepares the ear. So we have the predominant chord that prepares the dominant, and then the dominant prepares the ear for the tonic, okay? And that's the logic of the chord progression. So already from here you can see you can have a predominant chord, you can do 2, and then you can do a dominant chord, 5, and then a tonic, 1, 2, 5, 1. Also you can do predominant, you could do 6, 5, 3. You could do 6, 5, 1, right? So any of these, you could just mix and match any of these tonic chords depending on how you want to progress. So what we're going to do, we're going to start out with a stable tonic, and then we're going to move to a predominant chord, then we're going to move to a dominant chord, then we're going to move back to a tonic chord, okay? So here we go. Let us then just write one based on this logic. So tonic, start with the 1 chord. Then for the predominant, let's do the 2 chord. Then for dominant, we could choose either the subtonic or the dominant chord. And then for the tonic, which one should we choose? Should we choose the tonic? Should we choose the median, the submedian? Right, let's go with the median, okay? So here is our chord progression. 1, 2, 5, 3, right? And again, they're all diatonic chords, none of them have sevenths yet. So let's go ahead and voice that. So the first place to start is the easiest. It is the bass, right? It is the ground tone. So always start with your bass. And the bass is actually the easiest, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and add the note names just to make this a little bit easier. So all of the roots of the triads are the bass notes of the triad, okay? So that's what we're going to write. So we have the 1 chord is a C, then we have the 2 chord is a D, then a 5 chord is the G, okay? And the 3 chord is the E. Beautiful, there's our bass line. Okay, so yeah, so keep the root in the bass. So then all we do is we write out the triads with the 3 upper voices. So for the tonic, let's start the tonic in first inversion. It's always a good idea. Okay, so again, to do that, we have the 3 notes of the triad here, so C, E, G. Okay, and then to invert it, you just bring the bass note up, okay, 1 octave. So my program lets me do that really easy. All right, it just raises it 1 octave, okay? So that's how you invert your triad, okay? So then what we're going to do is we're going to write our 2 chord. So that's D, F, A, okay? D, F, A. And when you're connecting triads, always make sure that you keep the common tone in the same voice, okay? So let me invert this again, just to pay attention to the line here. So as you can see, right, there is a motion in the bass, right? It moves upward, okay? And so whenever you have that going on, and then here further again, right? Whenever you have that going on, you want the contrary motion in the treble. So if the bass line is going down, then you want the upper voices to move upward, okay? So that's basically my thinking here, all right? Again, it'll be, we're trying to go for the smoothest voicing possible. So we have our 2 chord. Let me just go ahead and label. So for the 5 chord, let's see, we need a G, we need a B, we need a D, okay? So G, B, and D, notice how the D is in the tenor, so we'll keep that there, okay? And we have a G, and then the B. Nice. And yeah, they're both going up, but it's okay. So we have this common voice here, and that'll be really nice. And then for the median, we have E, G, B. So notice how G and B are already here in the soprano and alto. So now we just need an E. And as you can see, we have contrary motion. We have the tenors moving up and the basses moving down. So that's really nice. So let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, yeah, it works. So now we can keep going, right? Let's continue to add chords. So after this tonic chord, let's add another predominant chord. So let's just extend our progression. So for a predominant chord, let us choose. All right, we already used the supertonic, so let's use the true predominant, the subdominant chord. Okay, so the subdominant chord is an F major chord in C major. So F, A, C, so we're gonna have the bass play F. And then for the dominant chord, for the dominant chord, let's do the G major again, right? We could, of course, use the diminished triad, but let's just use G major, as G major is really the best dominant chord. Okay, and we'll go ahead and play our tonic here. Okay, so here we go. Let me just go ahead and label this for us. All right, and these are all major harmonies. So to need F, A, C, right? So nothing in common here. So we'll go ahead. So the bass is moving up. We'll move down. A. There we go. So that's our F, A, C triad. But again, we're gonna just invert that to make sure that it's as smooth as possible, right? This may look smooth, but again, you will really want to pay attention to the movement of the bass, right? The bass moves up, so we should move down. The three treble voices should move down, okay? And then the 5, we have a G, we need a B, and we need a D. So here we have G, B, D, G, D, B, and then here's our tonic chord. So we need a C, E, G, and we already have our G here, so let's keep that, and we'll have C, E, G here. All right, not bad. Now let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, not bad at all. So that is how you write your basic chord progression, and you can keep going, right? What if you actually made this tonic chord? What if you didn't use a C major chord? What if you used a minor chord? So you actually use the submediant as the tonic. Well, then you would simply, first of all, you would have to rewrite the bass as an A. Okay, we're going to relabel this as a 6 chord, and we'll go ahead and make this an A minor triad. Okay, we're not going to put the A in the bass. There's no need to do that. We'll actually arrive to the A from the soprano. And let me see if I could. Yeah, I think that motion will be better because again we have the upward motion in the bass, and we have the downward motion in the soprano in the moment that it's important. So this is the end of the phrase. So I think that this might be better again. All right, beautiful. So as you can see, that logic is really behind all chord progressions. So again, that's how you write a chord progression. And one thing that I absolutely recommend is actually singing all of these intervals. So actually working through and actually singing this progression. So just the tenors, altos, and sopranos, just the 3 upper voices, you can actually sing this progression. So So definitely write out chord progressions and sing them. I couldn't recommend that practice more. And don't just sing it like how I did, sort of like nervous that you would hit the right pitches. Really live and feel these intervals, right? That's really what it's about, and that is how you achieve the deeper level of awareness of sound, and that's how you move closer and closer to what music truly is.